The dark at the top of the stairs. We never know what's up there, but it knows us. It's always waiting, working away on our needs, our wants, our hidden desires, our secret obsessions. Where do they come from? How do they develop? Are they always there waiting for us to grip us in their iron claws, or do they take seed in us and grow bigger and bigger every time until too late we realize that we are consumed by them? In this story, neither the husband nor the wife would admit to being obsessed, except by the possible loathing of each other. But they long ago came to terms with that because, well, life would be too lonely for him without her to bark at, and for her, life would be impossible without him to pay the bills for her rather expensive tastes. Each has a hidden obsession. His, that he once loved and lost someone else and has never forgotten. Hers, that she knows it and has never forgotten either. So when they both give in to their obsessions, watch what happens.
Some murderers want to get caught. It's guilt, I guess. Wanting to be punished. Some leave incriminating evidence at the scene of the slaying. Subconsciously, of course. But evidence that will lead the police right to their doorstep.
Oh, hi.
Oh, big game hunter returns with hides of elephant.
Oh, just one or two little things. They're shipping the heavy stuff home to New York. Can I have a cup of coffee?
Sure.
I've decided to return this.
Why did you buy it?
I liked it.
When did you buy it?
Oh, about an hour ago.
You liked it an hour ago.
Uh-huh. But it doesn't go with anything.
So send it back.
I hate to ask this, sweetie, but could you return it for me? The store won't mind. They're accustomed to it.
But shouldn't you return it, sweetie? I could get arrested.
I want to get my hair fixed.
Where did you get it?
Oh, we're here. It's on the shopping bag.
Where in the hell is that?
I don't know, Stephen. It's a strange town. I got turned around. Take a cab. Ask someone.
Oh, could I get a cup of coffee, please? Black. Does this place have a garbage can? And a rubbish bin?
Yes, sir.
Would you trash this for me, please? In the Leopold and Loeb case, one of those kids dropped his glasses at the scene of the crime.
Why don't you go over and see Roger?
Thanks. Roger?
Roger Fane.
Whatever gave you that idea?
Well, you're in the same country.
Roger is in Wales. We are in England. Suppose the murderer left a dozen clues, right down to his calling card.
You always said he was a good friend of yours.
I haven't mentioned Roger Fane in years.
Why haven't you mentioned him?
I went to college with him. That's all.
I'm sure he'd appreciate a visit from you.
After all this time, come on.
His wife died last year, didn't she? I'm sure he'd appreciate a visit. Most of his old friends are in the States. His wife, what was her name?
You know what her name was? Margaret.
Margaret. Yes, Margaret. She died last year in a skiing accident, didn't she? I'm sure he'd appreciate a visit.
Roger? Yeah, a voice from the past. Stephen McCullough. Yeah. I'm in Bath, England. Listen, is that anywhere near Cardiff? Oh, then I just might come on over and see you. He says he'd love to see you, too. Well, yeah, she's here, but she has plans. No, I have no plans. Sure. Sure. What time do you leave your office? Okay, then let me find out about trains, and I'll speak to you soon. Okay. Wow, he seemed really pleased. He even said he'd meet me at the station.
I told you it was a good idea.
And you are always right. Gonna miss me?
I've missed you for years, sweetie, don't you know that?
A murderer with no motive. No apparent motive. Yes, it is.
Come on in. So, let me know as soon as you hear anything. Thanks for working late. Thank you, sweetheart. Put that stuff down. Take your coat off. It's wonderful to see you.
Hello, Roger.
You haven't changed. I haven't changed. You staying?
Yes, if I may.
Your room's upstairs. I'll take you up in a minute. We'll have a drink first. Steve. Steve, hey, man. It's great to see you.
I thought you were going to meet me at the station.
Steve, I'm sorry. I was held up. I called the station master. I told him there's a guy getting off the train, a distinguished American doctor. He couldn't possibly miss you. I told him to put you into a cab. Sorry.
No problem. I shouldn't have mentioned it.
Oh, yes, you should have. Get it off your chest. Am I forgiven? Doc?
Sure.
Martini?
Thanks. Pretty place.
Oh, you bet.
Are you happy over here?
Sure. The men work hard and the women are grateful.
Excuse me?
It's not a competition for the pants. You know the way it is back home?
Oh, really? Is that what you found?
Margaret was, of course, the exception to all rules. Come on, let's sit down. I figured we'd have a drink and then get a bite. I booked us a table. It's no great shakes, but it's the best thing around. And I'm not too good at cooking for myself.
Yeah, sure.
It was hell, losing her, Steve. Well, you know what a great woman she was. And her to go just like that, suddenly, I was lost. I just couldn't believe she wasn't here. In the next room, I'd hear her voice, and I'd go look for her, knowing I wasn't going to find her. I'm still not able to get rid of her things. Is that strange?
Not at all.
You just don't know the depth of feeling you're capable of until you endure a tragic loss.
Yeah. Or how long that can last.
But you have to go on living, pick up the pieces. That's what's noble and beautiful about the human spirit. Well, let's not talk about it anymore.
So you're getting used to being a widower?
Bachelor, Steve. And that's not bad when you're old enough to know the score. Still no, nothing beats the old days. Horsing around, bullshitting, double dating.
You remember that? You remember I was dating Margaret?
Sure, at the beginning, yes.
Then you told her I was seeing another girl, and then you put the moves on her.
All's fair.
I'll never forgive you for that.
Water under the bridge, Steve. Come on, let's get something to eat. You want to clean up? Bring you a drink with you. How long can you stay?
Well, I don't want to make a nuisance of myself.
You couldn't do that if you tried, old buddy. Hey, you're in here.
Pretty big place you have.
Well,
You never had kids?
no.
Was that by choice?
We talked about it. Woman fulfilling a role, all that, but on the other hand,
Margaret wanted them?
kids can ruin your lifestyle. Hey, you didn't either.
What?
Have children.
Well, it just never happened. Still, in all, my relationship with Betsy has been everything that I've ever wanted. You know, we met just 1 week after you married Margaret. And there's never been a time
Excuse me, buddy. I'll be right back. You look great.
Thanks.
I can't come tonight. Can't wait.
Who was the girl?
Sally? Sally Williams. She's great. We were going out tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There'll be other nights for Sal.
What time is it?
10:30. Time for a nightcap.
I usually don't drink late at night.
Me neither, but it's a special occasion. Go ahead. Bourbon, scotch, cognac, whatever.
Mr. Fane, Brenda speaking. Mr. Briggs called me from his aircraft. He wants you to take that meeting in Paris at 11 a.m. tomorrow. I booked you on the 8 o'clock flight. The ticket is waiting for you.
God, what a pain in the ass.
Who's Briggs?
My boss? How do you like that? I'm gonna have to go.
That's too bad.
Oh, no, I'm really cheesed off. I had plans for us tomorrow. Trip into the country, an old English pub.
Well, on the other hand, it might have been today, and I could have missed you altogether. There was no plan. It was a spur of the moment idea. Not even my idea, but Betsy's. I just hoped you were glad to see me.
Oh, sure. It was great. What are you talking about?
Well, I wanted you to be glad because I felt that way. It's strange. My relationship to Betsy has changed and altered by incidents and time, but with you, it's the same. Fixed, like a fly in perspex. When I was in med school, there were always specimens preserved in the pathology lab. One of them was taken from a girl who'd tried to abort herself with one of those wire coat hangers, and the hook of the thing had passed through the fetus and punctured the wall of the womb. And that moment of fear, that self-inflicted terror, was encapsulated in that bottle forever. Sometimes I think of the man who did that.
Yeah, well, I guess you must see a lot of unpleasant things.
It's the first time that's the worst. The first time you see cruelty or pain. Or fall in love. As I did. Once. Oh, well. Old wounds.
Old wounds must heal. For your own sake, old buddy. Come on. You've had a long day and a long trip.
Ah, I know you have an early start.
6. I'll be gone before you're awake.
Oh, no. Us doctors are famed for early rising. I'll be there to see you off.
You don't have to.
Sure I will.
Sleep in. It's quiet up there, and Betsy won't be expecting you back anyway. Listen, I have a girl. She comes in and cleans. Her name's Yvonne. Now, she'll bring you tea or a real good English breakfast about 11. Serve it to you in bed if you're lucky. So, one more drink.
Yeah, I'm at 2 Gladwin Place, and I need to get to the rail station. Could you send a cab for me in a half hour? And I'll be waiting downstairs. Okay, good, thanks.
this morning. I'm sorry. Very sorry. I know you have a guest, and I don't like to let you down, but I can't help it. But don't worry, I'm all right, Mr. Vane, and I'll be in tomorrow.
Six, please.
Morning, Dr. McCullough.
Hi. Do you know if my wife is still in the hotel?
She went out a couple of hours ago, sir.
Oh, could you get me the telephone number of a Mr. Roger Fane? That's F-A-N-E. Number 2, Gladwin Place, Cardiff. Oh, and could I get some coffee sent up?
Right, sir.
Thank you. Hello? Oh, it's ringing? Thank you. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to listen. Roger? Stephen. I had to get your number from the desk because I left my address book in my briefcase, which is, I think, I hope, in your sitting room. And I'm really lost without it. It was stupid of me, and I'm sorry. I'm still at the Saracen Hotel, so could you give me a call as soon as you get back, please? Okay, thank you. Now, why in the hell did I do that?
Oh, hi, you're back.
Yep.
So how was Roger? Everything okay?
No, he went to Paris.
You missed him.
No, he left this morning. He had a meeting. That's why I'm back. But I saw him last night and we had a get-together.
So how was he?
Oh. All right. He sends his best.
Did you talk about Margaret?
I offered my condolences.
So what did you do? Boys together?
Duke?
Yeah, do.
We had dinner. I had the smoked salmon and the lobster. I don't know what the wine was. Roger chose the wine. Is that what you wanted to know?
Obviously not.
Were you looking for something in particular, sir?
Oh, property.
Pages 7 and 8. But there's a lot more on Fridays.
Oh, thanks. What time is the television news?
You should catch it in there now, sir.
Thanks.
Research at Langford near Bristol have backed a controversial scheme to bombard food with radiation to combat poisoning. At the Shirleybanks murder trial, John Cannon's brother has been giving evidence against him. Anthony Cannon told the court as teenagers they had regularly visited the spot where Mrs. Banks' body was found.
Thank you. Well, you still haven't told me
Told you what?
about Roger. So how was it? Did you enjoy it? Did you still like him?
You really want to know? I hated him. And sometimes you think you know someone, and then you discover that really you don't. I remembered Roger as a good, fun-loving, loyal, regular guy. But sitting there, watching him, listening to him, I saw nothing, finally, but an insensitive, brash, sentimental clown. Okay?
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. That's why you wanted me to go.
That's why I wanted you to go?
Well, it was your suggestion, as I recall.
Sweetie, it's just that you're so edgy. Hating the vacation, hating me. I guess I just wanted to think of something that would amuse you.
Okay, well, next time, why don't you let me make my own tedious amusements?
Okay. So it didn't work out.
Exactly right, you got it.
Be good.
Sir, this is Yvonne, the cleaning lady.
Be with you in a minute. Next one, please.
Mr. Fane, it's Brenda again. Can you call the office just as soon as you come in? It's urgent.
Okay. You didn't come in yesterday.
No, sir. Mr. Vane's dead.
Why not? Why didn't you come in?
No reason. I was sick. I wasn't feeling very well.
You have your own keys?
Well, yes, I've got to have them. Well, I have to have them because he's away a lot. He's at the office or away on business. Oh, poor man. He hasn't died naturally, otherwise you wouldn't all be here. You wouldn't be interested. Was it suicide? Murder? He had a friend to stay yesterday, an American friend.
We know about him. Mr. Fane do a lot of entertaining.
Sometimes.
Was there a woman?
He was a normal man. Yes, I can say that. His wife died. That's her. Tragically, you know. And since then, well, he's a normal man.
Normal men make enemies.
Oh, no. Everybody liked Mr. Fane.
Not everybody, it seems.
Hello? Yes, Rollison. Thank you. Captain Williams flew in the night before last. Landed about 10 and went straight home.
Ask him nicely to stay there for about an hour, would you?
Yeah. Yeah, do that.
You can't hear anything very much up there, sir. With the door closed, the man sleeping up there could have heard nothing.
Unless he did it himself. The friend. The man sleeping upstairs.
Think so? Mr. Fane died, as nearly as we can tell, between midnight and 6 a.m. You think his friend killed him? Went upstairs, brushed his teeth, put on his pajamas, read a chapter of Dickens, slept until 8:30 the next morning, called Richard the cab, and drove to the station. We've left you a tip, by the way. £2.
Maybe he thought Mr. Vane was still alive.
Yeah. Would you come over here for a minute, please? Into the light. Where did you get that? You're an attractive woman, you know.
No, sir, I'm not.
I think you are. Did Mr. Fane ever make any, advances towards you?
To me? Oh, no, sir. I'm the hired help.
wanted to see me?
Dr. McCulloch. I'm Detective Inspector Fowler. This is Detective Sergeant Rollison, Cardiff Police.
Yes.
Have you any idea why we've come to see you?
Cardiff, well, I was there a couple of days ago visiting an old friend.
Mr. Roger Fane.
Yes.
Mr. Fane was murdered on the night you were there.
What?
Forensic tests indicate he was murdered while you were in the house. In the circumstances, do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Yes, of course. I mean, no, of course not. Excuse me, this is my wife. These gentlemen are police officers, Betsy. Roger Fane's been murdered.
Oh, my God.
Mrs. McCulloch, did you travel to Cardiff with your husband?
No, she didn't.
Then, if you don't mind, would rather speak to your husband alone.
Oh, I'm sure he knows nothing about it. He would have told me.
Of course. How well did you know Mr. Fane?
And since then, I've hardly seen him at all. The last time was New York, about 5 years back. That was before his wife died.
You know his wife at all?
No, not really. Well, I met her when they were dating.
And had you planned to see Mr. Fane on this trip?
There was no plan. It was just a spur of the moment idea. Not even my idea. We had a drink, martinis, if that's of any interest, and we had dinner at some French restaurant.
L'escargot.
He was very cheerful. He chatted to the owner and to the waitress, of course.
Of course. Anybody else?
What? Yeah, he went over and talked to some woman.
Mrs. Williams?
I really didn't catch her name.
What did he say about her?
This is a murder inquiry, right? Okay. He said he was having an affair with her.
And, what about the cleaning woman?
Well, he said she was very obliging. Why? We had a nightcap and talked.
What about?
Old times.
Did he seem, nervous or apprehensive? Was he expecting anyone?
If he was, he didn't say so.
He gave no indication of any kind that he was in trouble? Or afraid of anyone?
No, nothing. Not to me, anyway. And does this mean that you think it wasn't a break-in? You think somebody had a grudge against him?
You left him alone in the living room and went upstairs. What time was that?
Well, about 11. I was tired. He had to go to Paris in the morning, so, we decided to call it a night.
Did you hear anything after that? Voices? A scuffle? Anything at all?
No, nothing. Yes. I could just make out some music. It was a Beethoven trio I'm very fond of.
The amplifier was never switched off.
Well, I thought he'd gone to bed. I assumed it was his habit to listen to music late at night. I was asleep before it ended.
And you slept well?
In the morning, you didn't look in to say goodbye?
No, because I thought he was in Paris.
Or even to leave a note?
No.
If you had, you might have realized that you'd left your briefcase.
Yes. I was aware of that. I only noticed that when I was on the train. I called him about it, but I got the answer machine, which didn't surprise me because I thought he...
Well, that's how we found you so quickly.
Your briefcase, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We took the liberty of examining the contents and copying the itinerary and forwarding address. Thanks for your time, Dr. McCulloch.
Not at all.
So Roger was murdered.
Yes.
Well, have they caught the guy? Have they arrested somebody?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Well, doesn't that look a little strange? That you didn't ask?
Inspector,
Doctor.
I don't know whether you are at liberty to say, but do you know? Do you suspect anyone?
Yes, we do have a suspect.
May I ask who?
No harm in it, I suppose. Brother of the cleaning woman. He's a drunk and he's violent. We were called out to Mr. Fane's flat to remove him only 2 months ago. He hasn't confessed yet, but I think he will. Bye, Doctor.
Bye.
Your statement at the time. I was looking for my sister.
You were looking for your sister at 9:30 at night. But she was never there at 9:30 at night, was she? You thought her employer was taking advantage. Where were you 2 nights ago? You were jealous of your sister and Mr. Fane. Even though she denied it. You beat her up. Then you went back to his flat, let yourself in with his keys, demanded money. He told you to get out. Then you killed him.
I can't stop thinking about Roger. Sudden death is awful, but murder is different. Makes you think instead about the murderer.
Come on, it's late. Let's go.
Yeah, and that boy is something else. What did the cop say? An alcoholic and a ne'er-do-well? He's done you a lot of good.
What do you mean?
It's obvious. Without him, you'd be under suspicion. They might even have arrested you by now.
Just let's not talk about it.
Yeah, best not to talk about it, knowing what we know. Come on. Smile. A toast.
I don't think there's that much to celebrate.
Oh, don't say you're in mourning for Roger.
What did you mean by knowing what we know?
That you killed Roger? There. I've said it. Now I never need say it again. Next year, I want to go around the world. I've always wanted to do that. India, Australia, South Seas. You work too hard. You have to take time off to amuse me. Could be a second honeymoon. Secrets keep people together. Shared secrets. Sex is a secret. Murder is a better one.
Shut up, Betsy.
Oh, I will. I will, because I don't know anything. Knowing nothing, I could never tell. Not your friends, not the police, not the hospital.
Go on, go ahead. Believe what you want, as long as it gives you some weird satisfaction. But be careful.
I think you've been too careful with your money. We must think of ways of spending it. I want to move out of New York. I want a big house in Connecticut or somewhere upstate with lawns and woods and a lake. Oh, no, not a lake. I might end up in it, floating face down. You wouldn't ever kill me, would you, Stephen? They say when you've broken the taboo, when you've killed once, it's so much easier to do it again. But you wouldn't do it because you'd have a motive, so you wouldn't get away with it. A man always has a motive for killing his wife. It's so much easier to share secrets. You should have shared your secret all along. Don't you know that I've known all along that you love Margaret?
I've never spoken of Margaret to you.
Perhaps that's how I knew. And your friends, when they spoke of her, always looked at me in such a knowing way. Why couldn't you just say, I love Margaret, Roger took her from me, but that's all past. I love you now?
I couldn't say it because it wasn't true. True that I loved Margaret. Not true that I loved you.
You never let her go. You held on to some memory of failure. And the thing you call love festered and rotted inside of you. Is it gone now? Is it over? You can love me now. I've earned it. Do you know what it's been like for me? Knowing you didn't want me. You resented me, you hated me.
I never hated you.
Oh, that's a start. We can work on that. Roger's dead. Margaret's dead. We can start over. Can you love me now, Stephen? I shall keep your secret forever. Come on. Come to bed now.
Yes, could I have Cardiff, please? Yes, Cardiff.
she identified the body?
Just a formality.
Dr. McCulloch.
Expect to see you again so soon.
Thanks for coming all this way. I telephoned because there was something else I wanted to say.
That's why we're all still here. Just a minute. Phil. We're very sorry about this, but that's all we need. Things have changed since you phoned. The young man's killed himself.
The suspect?
He did it in his cell, which is embarrassing for us. Bashed his head against the wall. It takes strength and courage to do that. What was it you wanted to say to us?
It doesn't matter now. It's something Mr. Fain said that I'd forgotten to mention. It doesn't matter now.
You can tell me, just for the record.
No, really, I'd rather not. Good night, Inspector. I'm sorry to take up your time.
Are you the man who stayed the night? You are. Why did you come? Tell me.
Excuse me.
If there's anything you know, please tell me. I loved him. He was everything I had. Please tell me.
I'm sorry.
They say when you've broken the taboo, when you've killed once, it's so much easier to do it again.
Things have changed since you phoned. Young man has killed himself.
One day I'll do it. One day.
Well, it certainly looks as though Stephen's wife will be able to indulge her obsession with spending money without a murmur of complaint from him. On the other hand, Stephen, having once become obsessed with someone who took advantage of him, didn't stop until he murdered him. So who's to say that in his present circumstances, such an obsession might not grip him again? I wonder what Mrs. McCulloch would say about that. Why not ask her before it's too late?